for joining me. I'm Scott, and today I've got a Gibson Midtown. Someone dropped it. It has a big old crack here. I've already gutted it, and we're going to start gluing it, and then we'll repaint it. So stick around. Before I drop the glue in from the top side, I'm going to go in from the inside and put this piece of tape over the crack. That way the glue just doesn't run all the way through and pool up on the inside. It kind of will have a stopper. Here's all the parts. We'll keep them right there till we're finished. I'll take the fill and finish ultra thin and transfer some into the cup, and then we'll apply it with the looper. I might even have to use the pipette.
Because there's a mining community, a lot of people make the use of there to work in particular places like Virginia or the and that's because they went from they went with their mining experience, and of course there's a quite a socialist background here as well.
But there's a first time for everything. Accelerator.
Pretty deep, and it was over almost 75%. There's a few, but it's not a state required. Do you have like big industry?
Do the same thing on this side. And I've never done this pipette thing before, but I kind of like it. I'll fill this all in. I'll set it aside to dry overnight, and then we'll sand it all smooth. Let me get that accelerator again. That was a fairly heavy spray. So I'll continue with the pipette and the ultra thin. It's curing much faster now that the accelerator has been introduced to the atmosphere. Sometimes I'll have to go with a little thicker viscosity. Right here I'm going to hold the guitar upside down and work on the crack that goes between the end pin and the output jack hole. This crack was much more minor. So we'll drop in a little, we'll accelerate a little. And in an hour or so, we'll come back and sand a little. Actually, I like to take a pillar file to it first. Much more of a flat surface than a sanding block. I just recently got the Toll Cut or Kovac sanding blocks from Stuart McDonald. They're pretty small, but they're really extra firm rubber, and I'm going to be using those on a lot of repairs in the upcoming months. After the filing, I usually go at it with some 120 grit sandpaper on this. It's a dense foam block, but it's not anywhere close to the density of the Toll Cut blocks. This is the Total Vice number 7 that allows me to hold the guitar upside down. Or should I say head down, tail up. Same thing on the top of the guitar. I'll go at it with this file. Just go at it for a little while with the file, and then I'll hit it with the 120 grit sandpaper. A little bit of the fill and finish oozed out around the clamp. which is not the end of the world because it's all getting sanded down. In hindsight, though, I think I would have tried to wick in a little hot hide glue into that crack, because it kept wicking up finish and things as I went along. So I'll do the 120 grit, and then I'll do the 220 grit. I'll wipe it with naphtha in between. But the last thing I'll do is I will hit it with this maroon Scotch-Brite pad. I've got some towels inside, and I've got the control cavity taped off. This is a low-tack tape, and then this masking tape, I've de-tacked it on my t-shirt ahead of time. But I thought I'd take this number 2 pen, kind of get me a head start on blackening in these little marks. And I'm going to take it down to the spray booth. First, I'm going to take it onto the guitar buffer, where I'm going to get all this dirt off the other side. It's just caked with guck and schmutz. I won't even show you, it's so schmutzy. But after I buff it, I will spray a little bit of no blush retarder just to soften everything, and then I'll spray my black over these cracked areas and a few coats of clear. Few coats of clear, oh dear, oh dear. This is a archival ink pen from Michael's Crafts. It's the Pigma Black number 2. A lot of the ones I use are 05 and 01, or I think I have a 00 something. This is no O, just a 2. Alright, maybe I'll do 2 coats, and then I'll start spraying black over top. Never see it when we're done. Out in the garage here. This is after about a week of taping it off, spraying it black, peeling the tape off the binding, spraying some clear. The side looked good, so I taped it back up and had to go back over the top a few times. A little more taping of the binding, a little extra black, peel off the tape from the binding, scrape it, and scrape the black off the binding, that is, and a few more coats of clear. Now, I think we're ready to take it inside, take this garbage bag and the stretch wrap off the neck and the tape off the side, and let it hang. Time to unwrap this baby. This is my old trick for keeping overspray off of the headstock, neck, and body and other spots. Is just a kitchen garbage bag, one of the 13-gallon white kitchen bags, and stretch wrap. Not the saran wrap stuff. This is the kind you would use for, like wrapping pallets and stuff, from keeping inventory on pallets and stuff, moving materials, stuff like that. Before I wet sand, I'm just going to try and get a head start with a scraper. Just a real light scrape. Take that sharp edge off the transition. That's where the tape was. Little wet sand action for you here. Black is a bitch, I'm telling you. Wood grains are better. He brought me this other one. This one had this giant crack right here. And I'm much more proud of how this turned out. I used almost the same process, but because it's got a wood grain in it, I'm trying to glue up the pick guard for him here. Because it's wood grain and not a solid black color, you don't see the swirls. You don't see the swirls. We got a little bit of the Ultra Cut compound. This is the high-speed corded Craftsman drill. Much better than using a low-speed battery, screw gun. Those things are weak. And this is the 3-inch foam pad from Stuart McDonald. Set you back about $15. In between the two different compounds that I'm going to use the StuMac Clean and Shine to get off all the residue. And okay, now this one's called Ultimate Compound. Got a clean piece of Viva here. And it looks like we've got a swirl-free factory-looking finish right there. But the other thing I was going to tell you about, well, first I want to say this is a corded drill. It's plugged into the wall, 110 volts. And it goes at very high speed, RPM. I'll show you why black is so hard to match. As I buff this off, you'll start to see this guitar is a can of worms, because the original crack was here and I didn't even notice it until it was almost all buffed out, but there's a new crack forming over here. And this might be one of the reasons that Gibson discontinued this model, is that it doesn't have an arch top, so it doesn't have the structural integrity of a real arch top guitar. I need a new clean towel. I think we might be having some swirl problems over here. But the other thing you'll notice, I think, is that the black that I use, the StuMac aerosol black, is like jet black, and the Gibson black is a gray black. It has a little bit of white mixed into the black to give it this more of a gray color. I need to use another compound to get rid of some more of these swirls on this end. Now this whole side turned out way better, because on curved surfaces like this, it's really hard to detect witness lines and blacks that don't match. This side turned out really good, but check this out. I didn't notice this before. There's a crack right here that seems to have started since I started working on it. I never noticed this little crack. until just now, or just, within the last day or two. That's weird. This is my little trick for stringing up a guitar safely and quickly. I do a lot of restringing. So notice how when I put the string through the post, I put that bend in it so the string stands up straight towards the ceiling. That way when I go around, it doesn't flip around and scratch the headstock or come and whack me in the skin. It just stays straight up and down. So I pull it, I leave some slack, I bend it so that it has that, so it's standing straight up. I go over the top of the string, and then as it comes around that second turn, it goes below the string that's coming through. So the first wrap goes above, second wrap goes below. But I always leave a lot of slack in the string, a couple inches, and I put that little bend in the string after it goes through the post. First wrap over top, second wrap over the bottom, under the bottom. And that's how I do it for all 6 strings. Watch how quick I can do it. I go from the E string first on both sides, the treble and the bass side, same thing. Start with the E. The end of the strings pointing towards the ceiling. First wrap goes over, second wrap goes under. Here's the B. I don't know if you can hear these dogs over here. One of them snoring and the other one's licking themselves. Nothing worse than getting poked by the end of a string, or getting whipped as one comes through. It catches on the adjacent post, and then when it breaks free, it snaps back. It hits you on the hand. But this avoids the torture of getting hit by a string. And then lastly, we'll clip off the ends with my end cutters. These were some old Bitterroot brand fret cutters, but they didn't last too long. I tried to cut off some stainless steel frets with them and they bent. And this is my little way of tuning the guitar. I do it two-handed, but you see, it's kind of one-handed. Okay, so it all looks good at first glance, right? All good, but really, you can totally see black, jet black versus gray black. It's not the same. And this is just something for everyone to learn and discuss and beware of, the great lengths we go to get it all smooth and shiny, but then to find out that it's a different color of black right at the last little step. And it could be revisited, it's not the end of the world. It's at least it's not a giant crack. Okay. 6 weeks start to finish on this one. We need to see this side too. There was a giant crack there, but now it's gone.